to be the good guy. It's funny.
Does that Mr. over there want the firearm ban?
I'm surprised.
Not sure.
Remnants aren't there yet.
Are you here to spectate, lad? Are you here to spectate or take part? Yeah, anyone that has an opinion can take part, discuss.
Say something.
You should do it.
If
You
you're
too,
for the
Joseph.
ban, you stand on this side. If you're against it,
I need to write
on
down
this side.
all of this.
Okay.
That's just really poor.
I'm gonna go look if anyone's at the front of the boat because I've not put a sign up.
Hot floor, but you know.
I should probably have got someone to help me do this. Like Miss Bryce or something, you know what I mean?
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, we were against the ban, and there's nobody else for the ban.
Apparently, if you didn't stay a week, I don't really have much to say about it.
Maybe because it's so last second?
Yeah, maybe if it was like, if people had more time.
Yeah, I think if you want a proper debate, you kind of put it 24 hours in advance so people know about it.
Plus, I had no idea what this boat was called or that it existed at all.
I knew it was out here, I just didn't know the name of it.
Make sure y'all are talking a little loudly so we can hear you.
Right, we have enough to stop. Well, we have one guy.
Who are you
with nothing going
debating
on.
with?
Who am I debating with? No one. I'm here for the show. Guy in the bowler. Come up here and introduce yourself. Am I right? Stand where I am.
I don't know if he's. Oh.
Is
Tommy Brenner. I guess I'm gonna. What side is this? I guess I'm gonna be doing a for the ban.
All right, Tony. Was it Tony?
Tommy.
Sorry, Tommy. Sorry.
Oh, good.
What I want you to do, Tommy, is I want you to make a point. After Tommy's done, I'm gonna let someone from the other side rebuke the point, and then we'll go back and forth like that until someone else has a better idea. The floor is yours, Tommy.
Thing.
All right. Well, seeing as no one else is going for the ban, going for the ban mainly because it is a very disgusting weapon to use, as it maims and very well hurts a lot of people and it kills people. I'm against it mainly because it's very, how do I put this in the words? It maims people. I'm really trying to put this in the words here. It's just an all-around terrible weapon to use. It's one of the most popular weapons that criminals use against innocent people. I think it should be banned due to it being able to be easily concealed and easily pulled out and drawn, giving other people no chance to really defend themselves against it.
All right. Thank you, Tommy.
So a gun is
First
a
one to
gun.
stand. Oh, on the left side gets the rebuke.
What was that?
Hey, we have a winner. Introduce yourself.
Yeah. All right. I go by Miss Ward. That's what I'm going to go by this evening. So, a couple things I have a question for you for, at least when it comes to outlawing the sawn off, right? For people who are law abiding, who do you think is going to be the demographic of people that decide that they would rather have a sawn off shotgun over law abiding people whenever you're getting held up? You outlaw a gun, it's not going to go away almost indefinitely. Every single time a gun's outlawed, something's outlawed, there will be a workaround, and people that are going to want to work around it. Outlawing a certain gun to where, law-abiding citizens can't wield or have it is just going to put people at a disadvantage, not only against getting robbed, but also having the attack of wildlife coming your way. I'm not sure if you're familiar with, there's some certain areas of cougars, wolves, bears, and everything else in between. Typically, a sawn off is a pretty quick and efficient way of taking care of those animals, even if it's not my preferred method. It
Let
is
me
the
stop
only
you there, Miss Ward. It's a lot of questions for him to answer at once, so let's start with the first one.
All right.
So your first question was that how do we keep it? What's the point of taking it away from innocent folks? They're going to use it for good, and that bad people are going to still get a workaround? Is that what your question was, correct?
No. So my question is, if law-abiding citizens are banned from the guns, but criminals don't necessarily see as law-abiding as something as a priority, how will law-abiding citizens be able to defend themselves against criminals who don't care about the law?
Well, that's actually a great question. So the idea is pretty much sawn offs. Yes, you're still going to have a revolver, and yes, you're going to be at a disadvantage. But over time, as more criminals are caught with those sawn-offs are going to be confiscated and taken away. And as those are taken away, that's going to increase the market for more people wanting them, for criminals to want them. That's going to make them pay upwards of $200, $300+ for a sawn-off. And over time, the more and more they get caught with it, the more and more it's going to cost them. And they're going to lose money real fast. Because I'm a business owner myself. I brew and I make cigars for a living. I would not, right now it could cost $200 for a sawn-off. Okay. If you remove sawn-offs over time and they're removed, they're going to go up in price. They're going to go, yes, they are going to go on the black market. They're going to increase in price, and more criminals are going to want them. But as they go on the black market and increase in price, it's going to cost criminals more money. And the more money that they have to spend, well, not spend, but the more money they spend on sawn-offs, okay, they're going to run out of money quick. And they're going to see at that point it's not worth spending $300+ on a sawn-off. And another thing too is gunsmiths. Okay, if it's banned, gunsmiths.
Right, let me start you there.
Yep.
We'll save that point for another. Just keep things going and let more people speak, if that's okay with you, Tom.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that alright with you, Miss Ward?
I'll save my rebuttal for a different time if you'd like other people to chime in, of course.
Yeah, sure. Is there anyone else that would like to talk?
I wouldn't mind. I can keep it real short and simple.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
All right. I think it's real simple. I don't think the government should be able to tell us what weapons we can and can't use. I don't care if it's a sawed-off. I don't care if it's a revolver, a repeater. It's all the same. You can talk about maiming. You can talk about the damage it'll do. Doesn't matter to me. I don't think the government's the entity that should tell us what we can and can't do with our weapons and what weapons we can and can't have. That's about it.
You're here.
All right. Do you have a rebuttal to that one, Tommy?
I do partially agree that they shouldn't tell us what to do with our weapons, but sawn-offs are one of the most used weapons in crimes against law enforcement and innocent people.
I was on
And
my way to
I
buy a
understand
sauna.
that you don't care that it may maim and kill people, but it is the number one weapon, or one of the most used weapons in a crime. And it's very how do I put this? Yeah, I got no way of putting it. Honestly, I don't.
Okay. I think let's dissect that from the beginning. You say that you're against the government telling you what weapons you can and can't have and what they should or shouldn't ban. So that, in and of itself, I think, would put an end to this debate. But for the sake of debate, we'll continue. You say it's the most used weapon by criminals. Now, I don't have the statistics in front of me, nor do I know that those statistics exist. But let's say, for the sake of debate, that it is the most used weapon. All right? By those criminals. Those criminals that are using that weapon are not going to suddenly stop using that weapon because it's banned. As you've said and described them, they're criminals. So the government telling them that they can't use it ain't going to stop them from using it. And even if we go back to an earlier point and you say that eventually they get off the streets and they get confiscated, and maybe more will come, but that's irrelevant. If they get confiscated, more will come. That's not irrelevant. That's kind of the whole point. There's always going to be a black market. There's always going to be a want, a need, and a desire for this weapon, and people are going to get it. Now, even if, let's say, for the sake of debate, those criminals stop using this weapon, I don't foresee a world where criminals stop using a weapon because the government tells them to, without then switching to another weapon. Whether that's a long arm shotgun that can do just as much damage, if not at a longer range, whether that's a repeater with more penetration damage, whether that's a bolt action with more damage all around, or just a regular old sidearm that's still legal. There's nothing you can do by banning a sawed-off that's going to stop criminals from doing criminal things. And if we're talking about killing and maiming, well, I can rattle off plenty of weaponry that can do that. That ain't a sawed-off.
All right. Do you have a rebuttal for that one, Tommy?
Yes, like I said earlier, you're completely right. They are gonna try and get it, okay? And it's always gonna be on the black market. But as it's more wanted, it's an increase on criminals wanting it. It's gonna cost them money, hundreds of dollars to get one. And even as a business owner, spending hundreds of dollars on a sawn-off just for them to get caught and then it getting taken away all over again, it's not worth it over time. And another thing too, you are right. They are going to switch to revolvers, repeaters, and rifles. Okay, you are totally right about that. But I'd rather fight someone with a repeater and a revolver than someone with a sawn-off, as that gives me an actual chance. With a sawn-off, when it shoots, the pellets spread. Okay, that's going everywhere. So if I'm in front of a sawn-off and I get shot by that, I have like a zero chance of surviving that, or I'm gonna get very well injured, compared to someone that has a revolver and it actually makes them have to aim, and it strains them to aim. Okay.
Right. You okay to stop there, Tommy?
Yeah.
Right. Do we have any medical professionals here that has dealt with a shotgun wound compared?
Yes.
Well.
Would you like to speak?
Sure.
Oh. Introduce you. Come to the floor. Introduce yourself. And go ahead.
You just want me to compare a shotgun wound to a normal, like,